call the meeting to order, and thanks for everyone being here. At this time, we have a quorum. All three commissioners are present. And Mr. Walton, would you like to lead us in the flag salute today?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public comment. Jan Robinson, thank you for being here. Come on up to the...
Can you all hear me? Oh, you have to be in there.
You have
Sorry.
to be, you can pull that down
Pull
just a
it
little
down.
bit. There
Way
you go.
down. Thank you. Okay. I'm Jan Robinson with the Chehalis River Basin Land Trust, and I have two things to share. First of all, Thursday at Swede Hall in Rochester will be a report card for the Chehalis River. This is a short panel discussion, and then we hope a lot of good discussion questions will come out. It's sponsored by the Land Trust and the Chehalis Basin Partnership. So that's Thursday, 6:30 to 8:30 at Swede Hall. The second thing, and I'll leave some of these up here for folks, is an opportunity to help the Land Trust. We are a small nonprofit that works in the Chehalis Basin, which is many thousands of acres. We now protect over 4,000 of those acres, and we need help to continue our mission. So luckily I was nominated and am one of the finalists for a contest sponsored by Cairo 7 and the Trust for Public Lands. Voting is online. So until October 2nd, you can go to the website and vote for me. If I get the most votes, it's $10,000 for the organization.
Whoa.
That would be wonderful, so would appreciate
So
everyone's
that's
help.
Cairo then?
Cairo 7, I've got the website on here. Can I give you each one?
Absolutely.
And what an honor to be nominated.
Yes.
Okay.
Good. So there, we can get this information out, right?
We just did.
We did. We did. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Much appreciated. Okay. Now we have Mr. Gunther.
Well, thank you. It's an honor for me to be here, and I appreciate the work that the Chehalis River Basin folks are doing. This is great work, and I know that you folks realize that the Chehalis River is one of the biggest watersheds in the state of Washington, so it really deserves some hard work. What I came for this morning was I wanted to ask what the status is of the North Freeway Industrial Access in Centralia is. I know that there was $500,000 of .09 money put up to see if we could study this and get it right, make sure we get it right before the money is spent to do that. And I'm concerned that I haven't heard, and probably me with my head in the sand that there's a reason, but haven't heard what's going on. I just want you to know that there's some things that's really starting to cook out there. It's TransAlta Industrial Park, such as we talk about the wind farm on the east side of that. I just wrote a letter recently to TransAlta about 128 megawatts or 180 megawatts of solar. I think we have in Lewis County have the opportunity to be the center of energy production, green energy production on the west side. And so 585,000 panels at that site is going to create a lot of jobs. And when you think about ITEC, which is the largest solar manufacturer in the state of Washington, they put out 34 megawatts a year. That's all they put out. That's the largest manufacturer. So to put out 585,000 panels, we got to have an industry here. So I'm very concerned about the North Freeway Industrial Access because I know I was in the legislature I was at the legislature when we worked on getting those funds. That's $50.5 million. And it doesn't make any difference, in my opinion, on what kind of an industry we have out there. If we lose that 50.5, it's going to be a terrible heavy lift to go to the legislature and ask for $50 million for a access point. So we've got the money in the budget in hand, and I'm curious as to what's going on. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
One other thing is, you may know I live out on State Highway 508, right across the road from the New Wacom biosolids, and I call it the dump site. And a few years ago, a couple years ago, Kalama Chemical put some material into that lagoon. The Department of Ecology has assured me that there will be no land application of that material until the until it's properly formatted and properly looked at by the Department of Ecology. What I think Lewis County needs to do is ask Bill Teitzel to get an update for you folks on where we're at on that
That's a
site.
good point.
So that's all I had. I just would like to have some information on that site. And just one other thing I wanted to bring up and let you know is that we brought to Lewis County last week, we brought United States leaders in the blue-green program across the country. They came to Lewis County. They were very, very tickled and want to come back to take a look at the possibilities we have in Lewis County to support the green economy across the United States.
Thank you, sir. And I do have we'll get a brief update from you for Mr. Martin back there, and I think we'll have him
North County interchange.
on the
yes.
North County interchange.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Eric Martin, Public Works Director, County Engineer. So I signed a supplement for SCJ, our consultant for North Lewis County, in the middle of August. It was a small amount. It was less than $10,000 to finish that project. And what needs to, well, we shouldn't say finish the project, to complete the task that we had asked for, which was a final report and recommendations based on all the work that we had done. So I expect to see that very soon. It's been about a month since that supplement was signed, so we'll probably be getting something here shortly. But to your point about making sure that we keep this ball rolling, that was certainly a big part of the conversation I had with SCJ, and that was their recommendation and mine as well, that part of the recommendations that we're going to see coming forward is trying to form some kind of a committee that meets on a regular basis of community leaders to make sure that all these efforts that we have do not go by the wayside or get stuck on a shelf somewhere. So that's going to be probably the next step in this process, is trying to form that group, finding out who are the right people to be on the group, and then how often do we need to meet? Is it quarterly? Is it monthly? Is it twice a year? Whatever it is. To make sure that we are making progress on all those projects and recommendations that came out of that study. So as soon as I get that report, I'll be reporting back to the board here and letting you know what those recommendations are and letting you know how we can move forward to make sure this effort continues.
Good.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bob?
Chris King, who's heads up transportation for the Washington State
Can you get
Senate.
to the
Wanna step up
microphone?
there, Bob?
Microphone?
Curtis King, Senator King, when we talked to him about this grant, about this money, he said it has to meet the criteria of being significant to the entire state of Washington. And this is significant to the whole state.
Yes, it is.
I just want you to know that.
Okay, thank you.
Last thing that I forgot to mention was that I did get an email from Thera Black, who is our project manager from SCJ on this, and she said that she was meeting with Ed Orcutt last week also to apprise him and get him up to speed on where this project was at. So I haven't heard the results of that meeting, but she's actively working on it. So
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. And we'll have continuing discussions on this. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Bob, would you like to be notified when we meet with Bill Teitzel and the Health Department and Social Services, when we have an update?
Get you.
Okay.
Okay. And thanks for all your other work.
Yes. We would not have that
Valuable projects.
Yes.
So,
We
thank
would
you.
not have that 50.5 million for North County Industrial Access if it wasn't for Bob's advocacy.
Yeah. Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the notice item, Resolution 17-270, notice of hearing for ordinance 1280, which would amend Lewis County Code, in parentheses, animals, to grant greater discretion to a district court judge in proceedings governed by LLC Section 6.05.155, The hearing will take place at or after 10 a.m. Monday, October 2nd, 2017.
Second?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm David Fine with the Prosecutor's Office. Upon your specific instructions, the Prosecuting Attorney's Office respectfully offers for your consideration Resolution 17-270. This resolution directs that a public hearing be held after due notice and 2 weeks from today with a view to the potential adoption of Ordinance 1280. Ordinance 1280, if adopted, would amend Chapter 6.05 of the Lewis County Code. The amendment would afford the District Court a discretion with respect to the disposition of dogs which have been declared by the Director of the county's Department of Public Health and Social Services or by her designee to be dangerous animals within the meaning afforded that term in Lewis County Code, Section 6.05.010, subsection 9, and pursuant to the administrative provisions set out in Lewis County Code, Section 6.05.070.
Okay, any more questions on that? Okay. A motion is made and second to approve resolution number 17-270, ordinance 1280, which would amend the Lewis County Code. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the consent items, approval of minutes of September 11th, 2017, and Resolution 17-271.
Second.
Good morning, Grace Jimenez, Lewis County Auditor's Office. Speaking on consent item 2, resolution 17-271. This is the approval of warrants for payment for the week of September 11th through September 15th. There were 121 regular warrants numbered 776665 through 776785 for a total of $368,435.23. That's it.
And no special warrants for,
Nothing this week, nope.
okay.
Okay, a motion is made and second to approve consent items, and that is the approval of the September 11th, 2017 minutes, and also resolution 17-271, approval of warrants. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
I move to approve the deliberation items, including resolutions 17-272 and 17-273.
Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry.
I was slow on the second.
Okay, sorry. Good morning, everybody. Chief Chris Sweet with the Lewis County Sheriff's Office. I'm here to present Resolution 17-272. This resolution is to approve an interlogical agreement between the Lewis County Sheriff's Office and the Pacific County Sheriff's Office for the use of our jail facility. As you may or may not know, Pacific County has a smaller facility than ours. They're near capacity. They reached out to us and asked us if we would entertain an agreement with them so they could utilize our facility. This contract is identical to the contract we have with Mason County. The only changes that we have is the bed rate. We use the new 2018 bed rate, which is going to be $63.39 per day. And we also put in language on page 5 that we would not be responsible for inmate transport to and from the counties. That's the burden on Pacific County. You have any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Good morning, Commissioners. Archie Smith with Lewis County Human Resources. I'm here to present Resolution number 17-273. This resolution approves requesting review by the Healthcare Authority to participate in the Washington State Insurance Plan. This allows us to submit our information to what is better known as PEB, Public Employees Benefit Board, for consideration for a review of their health care benefits if we so may choose to use them.
Okay, a motion is made and second to approve deliberation items, resolutions number 17-272 as well as 17-273. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to go into the hearing, and this is Resolutions 17-274, and this is the hearing for the third 2017 budget amendment for current expenses and other funds. At this time, we will first have a staff report followed by a question and answer period. We will then close the question and answer period and open the hearing for public testimony. And then at this time, we will have anyone wishing to publicly testify. You have 3 minutes. And anyone who those citizens wish to sign the sheet now, it's up there, I believe. And we can start that process now, and we'll go ahead and start with the staff report. Let me give you this right here.
Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Walton, Central Services Director. With me today is Becky Butler, the Budget Manager. As usual, when we do these amendments, detailed copies of the amendment are available at the front of the room. This hearing pertains to the recommendation to amend the 2017 budget as indicated in Resolution Number 17-274. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Chronicle on August 31st and September 5th, 2017. The notice as published reflected an increase in expenditures of $250,721 and an increase in revenue of $216,134, resulting in a decrease in overall fund balance in the amount of $34,587. Subsequent to the notice being published in the paper, the need to amend other areas became necessary, resulting in changes in expenditures in the amount of $363,514 and an increase in revenue in the amount of $57,538. With these new changes incorporated, the total budget amendment reflects an increase in expenditures of $614,235, an increase in revenue in the amount of $273,672, and a decrease in fund balance in the amount of $340,563. The general fund portion of this amendment is an expenditure decrease of $72,981, an increase in revenue of $14,572 for an increase in fund balance in the general fund in the amount of $87,553. Becky will now review the details of the amendment.
Morning, Commissioners. For the general fund, we'll just start going through, oh, you have it up.
There we go.
The Board of County Commissioners, and which shares the budget with the Budget Office. It's a decrease in salaries and benefits and an increase for the OPMA judgment and attorney fees. The auditor has an increase in revenue and expenditures for WCIF Wellness Grant. That's related to our health insurance. Sheriff has an increase in revenue and expenditures for training and a DUI traffic safety banquet costs. The Noxious Weed Department has an increase in revenue and expenditures for a Washington State Department of Agriculture Noxious Weed Management Grant. The coroner is an increase in revenue for the Drowning Prevention Grant and an increase in expenditures for professional services related to mortuary services that provide the removals for the coroner's office. A decrease in transfers, moving the 5% local match for airport capital projects to the Capital Facilities Fund. Now for other funds, the Flood Authority is an increase in expenditures for Recreation and Conservation Office funding for USGS gauge data and ongoing administrative work. Auditor, Election Reserve, an increase in expenditures for purchase of new election software. The Auditor's O&M is an increase for recording software and large format printers, scanners, which are necessary due to aging equipment. Capital Maintenance and Equipment Fund is an increase in expenditures for capital projects, including the Grange Building roof replacement at the Southwest Washington Fairgrounds, Schaefer Park picnic area and bathroom roof replacement, and replacement of the election software. Portion of that was mentioned above. It's a split cost between the two funds. Capital Facilities Plan is an increase in expenditures for the FAA grant match for capital projects at the Packwood and South County airports. Risk Management has an increase in expenditures for computer and office equipment related to the PDR manager position. Radio Services has an increase for radio purchases to replace aging equipment. And that sums that up. Do you have any questions?
Becky, on the one about the airport, could you go into a little more detail on that one?
So we had previously budgeted the 5% match for the airport projects in the general fund. We are able to use capital funds to offset that cost, so that will decrease what comes out of the general fund, and that's why you see an increase in the fund balances, because we're saving the general fund dollars by using other funding sources.
Okay, you have any other questions? At this time, we'll open it up for questions and answer period for public to ask specific questions. Anyone signed up? Okay. Okay. Now we're going to close the question and answer period. And at this time, would you like to have your comments incorporated into the hearing?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to open the hearing for public testimony. And then if we have any, are there any on the sheet? Anyone wishing to sign up? Okay. At this time, then, we're going to close the hearing for public testimony.
I move that we approve Resolution 17-274 for the third 2017 budget amendment for current expense and other funds.
Second.
Okay, a motion is made and seconded to approve the budget amendment. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Whoops, sorry, hit the, hit the screen. Anyway, passing. Hey, thank you. Whoops.
It's on camera.
I gotta have it close enough so I can read it, but at the same time, I guess I got a little too close. Anything for the good of the order? Thank you, Steve and Becky, for all your hard work.
On Saturday, I went to the Toledo powwow, and the Cowlitz tribe hosted that, and I was just reminded of the diversity in our county and the individuals that were there and celebrating that diversity. And a lot of people from Toledo were there and from other places, and people came from all over to be there and eat Indian bread and salmon and watch the ceremonial dancing. So it was a wonderful event.
Yes. And we have a number of citizens who, I know that I have neighbors that are directly involved with that. So it is, and they bring many, not just the Cowlitz Indian tribes, but many tribes come together, as well as when there's other events and celebrations going on. I know that I was up at Nia Bay, well, it's been several years ago, when I know that there were, all the tribes got together, and there were many representatives, and I know the Cowlitz tribe, because I knew one of the people. I happened to stumble upon it. I was actually up there fishing and went in there. So yeah, so I know that there's diversity all over our state, and we want to continue that and making sure that that is probably amplified to show really what Lewis County is all about. So yes, thank them.
We sat next to a young lady from the Cowlitz tribe and was saying she was able to go to college as a result of the good scholarships she was able to receive through the tribe. So that was nice to hear.
Okay, and I know we had a big event yesterday, the Community Day up in Packwood yesterday. Commissioner Fund and myself were up there, and lots of people and lots of stories and, you know, all the other things that come along with sitting with local folks there. But it was a fun event, and that's actually specifically a community event, a celebration of all the neighbors and the friends and the businesses and all the partnerships that have arrived from that. So it's a cool event, though. It's a lot of fun.
And the day before, they had a cleanup day. So many of the Packwood citizens were out there cleaning up, getting ready for the Community Day, and then Oktoberfest coming up at the end of the month.
Yes, and you're still looking for volunteers,
Yeah,
right?
let's hear this.
I actually was going to talk about that.
Go ahead. That's what we're looking for.
I'm CJ Nair from Packwood, and thank you very much for attending our Community Day. It's actually our businesses pulled together, and the meal is free. We don't ask for any money from our community other than the businesses put into the pot, and we serve it as the businesses, et cetera. And it's just our way of giving back to the community and thanking them for the previous year. Oktoberfest is coming up September 29th and 30th, and I still need volunteers.
So why don't you talk about your dilemma, just a little bit about, for the event that was happening at the high school?
Oh, so, well, we were working with the high school, we thought, and we're just told last week that they're actually have their homecoming on Friday night, on September 29th. So that took about half of our volunteers away for Oktoberfest, and it's grown into a very large event. So we have thousands and thousands of people engaged on social media. We're selling up to 500 tickets, and we're selling them every single day going into the event, and then at the gate also. So we need people to help with our little vendor village, our gates, helping in the main tent with food, and we'll entice you by saying every 4-hour shift you work, you get a free meal. Woohoo. So if anyone can help, we would appreciate it.
Thank you for all
I'll
that
be
you
up,
do.
as long as I don't have to dress up in lederhosen. That's the only caveat. I don't mind volunteering, but that would be a sight for sore eyes anyway, so.
You draw the line at that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Anything else? Okay, anything for the press conference? Questions?
Well, with no further business, I move to adjourn.
Second?
Okay, a motion is made and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you for being
Thank you.
here.
You are invited to immerse yourself in the beauty of nature in all four corners of Lewis County, Washington. From our fields to your table, farms in the west share their bounty. Limitless landscapes, forests and mountains beg to be explored in the east. Fish our many rivers and lakes in the south, and discover where history and culture intersect in our twin cities. Explore it all by visiting our Facebook page and plan your next getaway at discoverlewiscounty.com. Culture, history, and adventure all come alive when you discover Lewis County.